in sales. The future lies in a salesperson. In a salesperson's ability, the skills, and in their knowledge, and especially in the attitude of the salesperson to sell the customer with no pressure exactly what the customer wants. But before we're going to start, I would like to tell you a story. A story about a taxi driver in Paris. It's a story about Conan Doyle. Conan Doyle is the author of the famous criminal character Sherlock Holmes. I'm pretty sure you all know Sherlock Holmes. So it happened one summer that Conan Doyle spent his holidays in France. He arrived at the main station in Paris and got a taxi. The taxi driver asked, "So Mr. Doyle, where are you going to get?" Mr. Doyle was surprised. "You know me? From where do you know my name?" The taxi driver said, "Well, I read in the newspaper that Conan Doyle is visiting France. You have a town from approximately 20 days of sun, beautiful south of France. I saw you arriving from the platform where the trains from Marseille are arriving. And you have an ink stain on your finger, so you must be a writer. You must be Conan Doyle." Conan Doyle was surprised. "Wow, how did you do that? You must be Sherlock Holmes." The taxi driver said, "Well, by the way, your suitcase has a name tag saying Conan Doyle." So what can we learn out of this story? When did you surprise your customer the last time? If you want to do that, you first need to understand yourself and then the customer. The brain science has identified 4 key drivers, people driving to do or even customers to buy something. And this is control, dominance, balance, and stimulants. So with these 4 essential drivers, you make people do or buy something. That is similar to what Elena just showed. It's based on the insights model, which is founded on the findings of the famous German psychologist and therapist C.G. Jung. So what is the benefit for you? The benefit for you is that you can understand your personal strengths and potentials much better and communicate with your employees and with your customers with much more effect. You will understand much more how you can motivate your employees to do something. And that's the most important thing, you can apply this also for selling to the customer what he exactly wants. If you understand what is making him to buy something. So you can adjust your sales strategies accordingly to this preference. But let us first understand, a little more about the different types. So the control-oriented person, they love facts and details. They might not be good in being creative and showing empathy. For them they think, well, winning is important as long as the rules are respected. The dominant-oriented people, they like results, efficiency. They might not be good in making relations, and they might be a little impatient. They think winning is not only important, it is everything. The balance-oriented people, they are very good for service industries. They like to love contacts and relations. They might be a little, don't like to take over risks and might be a little indecisive. They think winning is not important as long as you make people feel good. The stimulants-oriented people, they're perfect for making contacts, for new things, for visions, for, well, get it done. They might appear a little, they don't want to risk something, they don't want to decide something. They might not get to the point. For them, they think winning is important as long as you're having fun. So just enjoy. It's not about good or bad. That's very important that you understand. It's about understanding the variety of people. And if you want to understand yourself, your employees, and especially your customers, you got to respect that they're living in their own world. You can find this out with a simple personality test. You answer 24 questions, and this shows you how you identify the basic motives, the 4 key drivers I showed you before. With this, you can effect your communication to a higher level. You can communicate with a high effect. And this will help you to understand what your employees and customers are driving to do or buy something. If you communicate in your personal communication, what do you think is a percentage of the spoken word?
Carolin quiere que reflexionemos sobre cuando hablamos, qué porcentaje lo lleva la palabra, qué porcentaje de la comunicación es verbal. ¿Podéis decir una cantidad? Un porcentaje o pensarlo.
Any idea? Any guess?
20.
20?
30.
It's 7%. That's quite few, isn't it? 7%, the spoken word, matters in your personal communication. The rest is 38% the tone of your voice and 55% the body language. Whenever you talk to employees or customers, you need to respect that. In your external communication, you talk even if you don't speak. Remember. And the customer makes 3 out of 4 buying decisions according to the first impressions. And for the first impression, you have only 1 chance. And only 7% of the words you are saying matter. Remember that talking to your customers and your employees. If you now talk to a customer, if you now want to enter the world of your customer, you got to make your customer talk. That is the secret about selling exactly what the customer wants. Sounds easy. But how do you do that? You ask questions. And now you might think, well, that's nothing new. I knew that before. The question you have to ask need to identify the motives and value of your customer. That you understand his world and you understand what makes him to do something. You ask, for example, questions, what is important for you? What are the 3 important reasons for you going to a spa, for example? And that might be very different for different people. Because people are driven by different reasons. One might be looking for relaxation. The other one might be looking for health treatment. The next one just wants to look younger. So that might be very different. Then you ask, what does this mean? Because if you say you want to look younger, it might be something completely different than when somebody else says, I want to look younger. So you got to identify what they really mean with that. And then you ask, what is most important out of that? And why? Why is it for you? That is the key about finding out what your customer wants, to enter the world of your customer. If you're now presenting your products or your service, you got to build a bridge to your customer. the key of building a bridge to your customer, you need to love the benefit and not the feature. This is essential of selling and very important. You need to love the benefit, not the feature. What does it mean? If a salesperson is feature-oriented, they will talk a lot. They will talk like, my product, my company, we offer, it's mine, I do, it's the subject way of seeing something. It's logic, a lot of facts and figures matter. So always the product will be the hero. But that's the vision of the salesperson. If you want to sell successfully, forget all that. You need to focus on the benefit. What does this mean to your customer? So you got to find the benefit. For example, hot stone massage. You will feel relaxed like never before. What does this mean to the customer? Hot stone massage. You are so captured in the world of your products and services that a lot of salespersons forget to translate that to the benefit for the customer. And then you will automatically be objective, you will be emotional, and you will step into the customer's world and act customer-oriented. And that's especially in your business key for success. To get from one to the other side, so from features to benefit, you build a bridge with little words like, this means for you, you gain out of that, this enables you too. So for example, hot stone massage enables you to feel relaxed as you never felt before. You can show true customer orientation also in the words you are using. For example, never say to a customer, you have misunderstood me. Better say, I must have expressed myself unclear. Never say, you are mistaken. Better say, could it be that? Never say, I'm convinced of. Better say, do you want to convince yourself of? Never say, you have to realize. Better say, can you imagine that? Never say, we offer. Better say, you will get now. Never say, I explain to you now. Better say, you will find out now. So that is the version to switch to customer orientation. Not the salesperson's vision, view is important, only important what the customer can take out of that. Always remember that in your sales speech. Selling has a lot to do with the salesperson's attitude. And I know we all work hard to meet our sales targets. 2009 has been a difficult year for all of us, and I know your businesses have struggled as well. But there are always chances. There are always chances because there are still people going to visit a spa, they are still having treatments, they are still coming to this beautiful island. So you got to focus on the chances and not the risks. You will now wonder what this FedEx logo is going to say. You see the FedEx logo? Do you see anything else? Do you understand? Do you see anything else?
¿Qué más se puede ver en este logotipo?
Is there anything else? Sure there is. There's a little arrow. That's what I mean with focus. You will always see what you want to see. And I promise you, from now on, you will always see the arrow and the FedEx logo. So focus on the chances and not the risks. There is no failure, there's only results. Very important for selling successfully. If you now have your customer, serve your existing customer first and then find new ones. For example, with cross-selling. Involve your team, involve your employees or your colleagues. Set up a brainstorming, do a process, and train your people. Train them, for example, never say to a customer, do you want anything else? Because then you give them the opportunity to say no, and you don't want that, right? So always give options. Say instead, do you want product A or product B? Very simple, but I promise you, very effective. Do some upselling. Dare to do some upselling. Your service is good and it represents some value, so be proud of that. But then, if you do upselling, once again, train your team and give them good arguments. Why should the customer spend more money? But maybe you make the customer aware of a good promotional offer, 2 for 1. Or you anticipating future needs. People come here to enjoy the beach and they might need after sun lotion. So the customer needs not to come back to go to a store, he can directly purchase it at you. Just dare to do the upselling. And recommendations. Essential for service business. Why? Because you need evidence for your service. And who can give you better evidence than your customers? For example, if the customer is checking out, this is too late. Ask them before. Ask a customer before if they would be willing to recommend your service. You can even measure this recommendation score with a simple tool. Instruct your employees, they should ask your customers, how big is the possibility that you recommend our service on a scale from 1 to 10? It's a simple, very simple question, and you can give this even to your employees as an objective to improve this recommendation. Very simple to handle. So always remember, serve your customer the first time the best you can. But then dare to do some extra business with cross or upselling and recommendation. Serve your customer the first time the best and then find new ones. Because it's much cheaper if you just take the opportunities which you have already. With the power of your team, with the power of your colleagues. And the ideas they will have for cross-selling, upselling and recommendation. Do you know the value of your customer? The Spanish Ministry of Tourism says that in 2009 they spent on average 90 euros per day. They stay usually 10 days. So this equals up to 900 euros. In 5 years, this is 4,500 euros. In 10 years, this number is rising to 9,000 euros. In 20 years, it's 18,000 euros. In 30 years, it's 27,000 euros. Imagine they spend instead of 90 euros, 120 euros. Remember cross-selling, upselling? This is 36,000 euros. And imagine they stay not 10, they might be staying 15 days. This adds up to 54,000 euros for one are you missing? What are the biggest mistakes in sales? First, the salesperson comes across not really convinced. Unconvincing manner. If the salesperson or you as the head of a team is not convinced of the product or the service, who shall be? And you will show this in your body language. You will, remember, 7% words you speak. The rest is everything else. Tone of voice, body language. Only product orientation, no customer orientation. Remember, benefit, feature and benefit. No emotion. There's no attempt to cross or upsell, and the salesperson is afraid of objection. You know the key objection is it's too expensive. So train your people how to react on that and be proud of your product and your service. The salesperson is afraid of failure. Remember, chances and risks, they are always chances. And the salesperson comes across being pushy. Essential mistake in sales. No pressure on your customer. I want to give you a short demonstration what I mean. You have me translating, Maria?
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to ask you to get up. And look for a partner. Just 2 and 2. Yeah. So one is A.
Uno de los dos será A y el otro será B.
So all A raise the hand.
Todos los A que levanten la mano.
Okay. And now all the B. Okay, very good. So now you hold your hand like that. And A is pushing against B.
A presiona sobre B.
Okay, stop. I did not say that B is pushing. And I'm pretty sure all the B pushed as well.
No. Yes.
Okay, sit down. And this is exactly what happens in sales. This is exactly what happens in sales. If you, A, the salesperson, you apply pressure on B, the customer will respond with pressure. Maria, can you repeat? So, never apply pressure on your customer. So if you apply pressure, they will respond. Just try to dance with your customer. So if he is pushing, you pushing not back, you just let and go, and let and go. So no pressure in sales. Okay? Why is it like that? There's no training. People don't know what to do. And we all live being a salesperson because we all have to sell something.
Carolin, may I ask a question now or should I wait?
Sure.
My question is, how do you answer to the objection, this is very expensive? Which are the main key issues?
Upselling.
That's a very good question. So you try to get as much take out of this day. Well, you always need to find out with what your customer is comparing. And you need to